Good evening and welcome to Sunday Politics on Trust TV, your hub for in-depth analysis on major developments in politics, policy and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight we delve into two significant issues. The first is the deal struck by the Nigeria Governors Forum and the President Bola Tinubu's government on the contentious tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly. The governors who first rejected the bills raised the alarm that elicited public sympathy and support for them surprisingly made a U-turn in support of the proposed legislations after an alleged behind-the-scenes deal between the two parties brokered during their New Year visit to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos. Though the governors hold to their opposition to the proposed value-added tax hike in the legislations, their action has been tagged as betrayal and a questionable compromise by many groups, including a pan-northern youth group, the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum. And of course, the second issue, we shall take a look at one tragedy too many, the Saturday's petrol tanker explosion at Dikko Junction on the Kaduna-Abuja highway, which led to the death of nearly 100 people. This is coming a few months after a similar incident left scores of people dead in Jigawa State. The latest incident at Dikko Junction in Niger State has re-echoed existing concerns over the lack of adequate measures by the authorities concerned to avert such recurring tragedies, the reckless attitude of vulnerable citizens, and the failure of authorities to proactively mitigate such ugly incidents before they happen. And now, to help us analyze the issues, we have in the studio Abubakar Tafawa-Balewa is a politician and public affairs analyst. He has also served as two-term special advisor to two former governors of Bauchi State, Ahmed Adamu Muazu and Isa Yuguda. And he's also a member of Board of Trustees of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. Abubakar, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Of course, people refer you to as Bala or Billy in reference to your grandfather, right?
Yes.
Sir Abubakar Tafawa-Balewa, the first Prime Minister. And only in Nigeria. Once again, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And then, as leader of the youth, our condolences over what happened in Niger State.
Yes. We commiserate with the people of Niger for what happened.
Yes.
And may God prevent it happening again.
Thank you. And viewers, you will also have the opportunity to give your take on these two important issues when we open our telephone line later in the program. For now, here is a report on the Dikko Junction tragedy.
The explosion, which claimed numerous lives and left many others severely injured, is a tragic reminder of the ever-present dangers on Nigerian roads. Victims included travelers and bystanders who were simply going about their daily routines when the inferno engulfed them. Survivors, many still hospitalized, along with families and traders, shared the heart-wrenching account of the horrific ordeal. I didn't go to school well. I was in my small shop, from where I did pick the soft drinks that I bought by the roadside. We just saw fire and we got burnt. If you open the cloth on my stomach, you will see how it has burned me. I want government to come to my aid and pay my hospital bills so that I can get well.
I have lost 3 brothers. I have lost everything because I get almost 3 shops. I get one of my shop now motor part day inside. The second shop, oil and gas diesel. And I get POS. I get almost 3 machines, cash, everything there inside. I don't come out everything. Now only my bag there with me now.
Security operatives tried their best to stop people from scooping the fuel, but they didn't listen. In fact, one of the boss even brought out a knife to stab a police officer who wanted to stop him from scooping the fuel. No one could say where the fire came from, but it wasn't within the premises of the tanker. We have been to Sabo General Hospital, but my brother was not there. We are at Suleja General Hospital now. He's not also here. We have been to so many places since the explosion happened. His wheelbarrow and his footwear have been found, but we have not seen him. At Suleja General Hospital, the situation remains critical. Dr. Adedokun Adebayo Adekunle, the medical director, reported that most burn victims are in dire need of specialized care and will need to be transferred to advanced treatment centers due to the severity of their injuries.
As of yesterday, by the time we let's say by around 2 or 3 p.m., we discovered that we have about 43 brought to our hospital. Fortunately for us, we have to shout, call for more help, only for some of our doctors that are not on call. Normally, we don't have more than 3 doctors on call, the first on call, second on call, and third on call. But fortunately for us, since we know that whenever we have emergency like that, everybody has to stand by. And that's the rule as far as medical system is concerned. So 3 of our wards were fully occupied. That's the accident and emergency ward, main surgical ward. And we also have to convert the main medical ward, part of the main medical ward, to accident victim ward that yesterday. So we had 43 all in all, and all of them are male, both adult and children. Some of them are within the age of 10, 12, and 13.
As the search for missing persons continues and survivors battle with physical and emotional scars, the community is left reeling from the tragedy. Many, including tanker drivers, pointed to dilapidated state of roads as a major factor in the frequent tanker accidents. There are widespread calls for urgent improvement in the road infrastructure and emergency response system to prevent such a devastating incident in the future. Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News, Mina.
Greetings there from the scene of the Dikko Junction accident. Billy, you've seen it yourself. You are a leader of youth. I mean, in your all right. Most of the victims are young people. Can we say it's illiteracy that drives them to this, or is it poverty, or what is it? Because we had similar incident in Jigawa not quite long. Yeah, which consume many people.
Yeah, I think it's all of the above. You can see from the first investigation that came out was that the tanker that was initially laden with fuel from the terminal in Suleja broke down somewhere, and they brought in another tanker to come and siphon the fuel from this tanker to the next using a generator. And that was what sparked the whole thing. And trust Nigerians, anywhere, anytime, they have seen that incidences left, right, and center. But anytime you see a tanker either grounded with fuel, people tend to rush to scoop for fuel.
Because they feel that it's money. It's
money and it's free for all. And that goes to show you the disdain for the rule of law. From the clip here, someone was said that someone removed his knife to attack a policeman for stopping them from scooping the fuel. That, you know, it's more has to do with illiteracy, and then, yes, equally, fuel is now an expensive commodity.
It's like
people,
gold.
of course, people see it as, yeah, we have to go and get our own. It's a free gift from God. And to be honest, it has happened in almost virtually every part of Nigeria.
We have the figures. In fact, it's scary. Almost every other place you have similar.
Yes, but unfortunately, people don't care. These places are, anytime you see, you don't jog with PMS anywhere. And they come in numbers, hundreds, scooping. I mean, you expect anything to happen in such places. And unfortunately, the tanker drivers as well do not help matters. In a situation whereby your tanker get grounded and you don't need to do that. It's even better
there are
procedures
that you can follow.
Definitely.
Now, I mean, evacuate it from
the
tanker that has an issue to the one that can.
That's true. That's true.
Proceed.
That's true. And in some cases, the people don't even wait for you to do that. As soon as they know that this tanker is laden with fuel, they begin to struggle to go and get it. There was one video clip I saw some time ago in one of the incidences. Is it in the southern part of Nigeria, where I see even policemen joining with jerry cans to scoop fuel. So who will stop who? You wonder how in the 21st century...
And that is why I'm asking whether it is the level of poverty in the land that now actually overcloud the thinking of people. When you know that this thing has happened, not once, not twice, and then you still say, maybe, let me try my luck.
Yeah.
Maybe there won't be flames.
Like I said, is all of the above. Negligence, illiteracy, poverty, all combined. But that is not enough for one to take himself to his grave. I always say that in most cases, you wonder how can somebody who perhaps is earning, is a worker or perhaps a government worker or whatever, will stoop so low that because of a jerry can or 20 liter, 1 keg of, he will rush to take himself.
At 1,000 now, 20 liters will give you
20,000 roughly. So why would you take yourself to the to early grave because of a 20,000? And you can't help it. But I think negligence also. They should report when they have a problem like that so that security agency will come and guard the place for them. But in this situation, in the Dikko, you can see some of them chase the police with knives
to give them
way for them to do what they have to do.
Of course, we will allow viewers in the course of the program, as I said earlier, to also give their take on what is the motivation behind some of these attitudes. But closely related to this now, growing up, we all know that we have the depots, functioning depots. You have one in Jos, there was one in Gombe, in Yola, in Maiduguri. Coming down here, you have the one in Niger. You even have one in Mina.
Every state.
Almost
every state.
All those legacies that they had depots. Now, assuming those depots are functioning, do you think these articulated vehicles will be moving freely on our highways?
That's the complacency, I said, where the government comes in. Virtually most of these depots are not working. And those that are working, few of them.
And the pipelines have been
That is the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. Most of the pipelines that take fuel to these various depots have been vandalized. I think even in the early 90s and things have gone worse. Thank you.
Yes,
things have gone worse. Some of these people have even graduated to become big marketers. People we tend to rather believe that they were into pipeline vandalization now have graduated to big time petroleum marketers. So you see, it has been allowed to go to that level. Unfortunately, and the government is not doing anything. It's been a long while that NNPC have not really pumped fuel to those depots. Usually they bridge using trucks. Can you see our roads now? They are all dead.
And it's because of the
majorly.
Weight
Majorly.
Being exerted
majorly. It is because of the trucks that are flying our roads. They are not meant for them. And I don't know what the government needs to do, but it has to do something in order to
revitalize the pipelines,
the depots and the pipelines.
You can so that directly, maybe from Port Harcourt, now that the refinery is working, and the reticulation is there. You can now, dispense the petrol or diesel or directly to the depot, because it now reduces the pressure on the roads and then even the risk of traveling. I tend to be surprised. Maybe a tanker from Lagos to Maiduguri, almost 1,400 kilometers.
That's true. And there are other ways as well. If you must carry it on freight or on land, train. Why not use the train? But it's a much better.
You can see now Oweri, Itakpe that goes through up to Maiduguri. They have been telling us that they are going to reactivate them.
Those are all part of what government needs to do to really fix in the problem. We don't used to have these things in the 70s and 80s. But now, number one, population is high. Most of the people have come on to the main road to live. There are some towns and villages that I see them springing up. Before, when we were much younger, they were not there. But now they had moved to the main road because that is where
such a greener pasture.
Oh yes, that's the only place it's happening. So every other village had moved from the inner side to the roadside, so that at least that is the only way you can be seen and you can sell and this and that. So government should also look for other ways to now pumping. I know there is a lot of problem in the pipelines. People have built. I've seen somewhere where
have removed the pipes and turned them to scrap.
Where a school was built on the pipeline. You can imagine. So these are all policies that government needs to sit up and try.
Maybe the school was built by government. Not
Definitely. Oh, no. But I mean, if a government can do, the private individual as well can do. So these are all part of the complacency from the side of government that needs to be.
Now, yesterday, when it happened,
yeah,
quite a number of people were rescued alive. Yeah. Because the figure they put around 77, but now we are approaching
100 or above.
100. Where is the problem? Is it the health delivery service that is not there? You've seen doctor there saying most of the victims require specialized care.
That's true.
But do we have specialized care?
You see, burns is one delicate issue. You might survive the initial inferno, but most of them, before they get to the hospital, they have high degree burns. And for one to survive that, you must have a special care.
Because it will affect vital organs.
Vital organs. Some are even damaged before you get to the hospital. And unfortunately, most of our general hospitals they're merely dispensing clinics where you just go get drugs and then perhaps get treated on small minor injuries. Unfortunately, those high burns cannot be treated in such places. The doctor was saying they have only 3 doctors on call. You can imagine 100 people there waiting for attention. It's really, really, really something that one cannot comprehend. But this, all the same, I think the government needs to do more in terms of making sure that those things don't happen, because that's the best way you can go about it. Make sure that there is a law in place. If your tanker breaks down and laden with fuel, these are what you ought to do. I have never seen where such drivers are punished.
Or even the owners of the truck.
Or the owners of the truck. Nothing. It will just go as if nothing has happened. I mean, those are the ways and means that you need to check to forestall such incidences. Otherwise, it keeps happening and nothing will be done. And unfortunately, the rule of law is not there to hold who is responsible.
Okay, now talking about who is responsible and who is not. You know, growing up and up till now, this adage, they said, okay, your words are your bond. Now, when it happened in Jigawa, key government functionaries, everyone that went there, they were talking about safety protocol. They are going to review safety protocol. How many months now after the Jigawa incident? I don't think if something happened.
Nothing. And I don't think if anything will happen. That's typical of us Nigerians. We tend to sleep on it. They come and make statement and that is all, because at least it is not them or any of their kids that is involved in that. And unfortunately, like I keep saying, that unfortunately, I don't know, for whatever reason, people tend to have a kind of misgiving for such incidences happening in rural areas. They don't seem to see as being touched by a tragedy.
They are detached completely.
Thank you. And so long as something is not done to forestall that. Yes, safety protocol, not only government enforcement. I mean, as the driver and even the people around ought to have those protocols. You don't see a tanker laden with fuel and you get a generator, a rickety generator, and you come and put it on and expect nothing will happen. I mean that's scandalous. It doesn't work. That's scandalous.
Even yesterday, you know, the head of the fire service in the country repeated this issue of safety protocol, just the way, you know, representative of the president when they went to Jigawa, talking about safety protocol. And this reminds me of the tragedy, you know, the flood tragedy in Borno, when the Aloe Dam broke. They said they are going to check and test the integrity of Nigeria's dams. Up to now, we didn't hear anything, because less than 10 days ago, when a report was submitted to Governor Abubakar, he was reminding federal government that please come. We have, the window is very small.
Very soon,
2 or 3 months rainy season will come. So I don't know what is really taking the attention of our political leaders, Billy. What in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's just the complacency between the leadership and the followership as well. Okay. We don't follow up. Tragedies happen and we sleep over it, and that is all. like you've just mentioned, the Jigawa incidents, not quite 2-3 months, upon all that have been said, you can imagine nothing has been done. And I bet you nothing will be done. The officials just come there and make statements. But to follow it up is a problem. And in Nigeria these days, I don't know. I think we have to start holding our leaders to account as to, if you are this, what do you do? I mean, what are the things you put in place to improve, number one, the roads, number two, the hospitals, and these are all the things
the quality of the vehicles.
The vehicle as well. We used to have, now you see the vehicles standing on the road collecting little money instead of seeing which car is roadworthy or not. They don't do all sorts of things now. They only sit down and collect bribes and things like that. And who is to enforce that? All right.
Now, before we move to the other topic and ultimately to open the lines, you see the person that the first one that they interviewed, our reporter, he said he lost 3 brothers and all his fortune. So he said he has shop for diesel, shop for GSM, shop for POS, and all
gone.
Apart from, so if you now put the human and the material loss, what will you say? Because if 100 people, most of these people, most of them are married and all that, meaning the negative ripple effect that will trickle down there is humongous.
Oh, yes.
You know, we are creating more widows, more orphans, and all that. What is your call to youths, finally?
I think the younger people should be more cautious now, in the sense that we've seen it, 1, 2, 3 tragedies, nothing has been done, not even compensation paid. You can imagine people living there who don't have anything to do with the scooping of the fuel. Now their shops being burnt.
So even if they are innocent and they are not criminals,
definitely,
with no option now, we are creating more bandits.
Oh yes, most of them are innocent. Perhaps you have a shop there, what can you do? And there is an inferno there. So to be honest, and that's why I said government should look out in a way as well. If we must move fuel by land, I mean, let's even if for transportation of goods and services, let's use the railways. It will alleviate. But now you see tankers in city centers carrying. In Europe and America, tankers don't go fly city centers.
Honestly,
Why here?
I saw it honestly in Switzerland in 2015 or thereabout. We were at the train station waiting for the train that would take us to the airport, and then suddenly this cargo train came with more than 50 tankers.
Thank you.
Loaded with maybe aviation, petrol, whatever, and it was just passing.
You see,
know, I was the person I was traveling with. He was looking at me, you know, because I had to ask question the first time. He said, "This is it."
That's true.
They can't travel on the highway for more than 10 kilometers.
10 kilometers.
Yes. So
the trains take it to a location, and then tankers take it from this location to that. I mean, this protocol, not that we don't have the protocol. We do have, but nobody observes the protocol.
So it's not about even having the protocol. The protocols are there.
They're there, but nobody observes it.
We are observing in abeyance.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Moving to the other topic now. We were shocked last week when the communique issued by the Nigeria Governors Forum, because they agree to, concede to some of the provisions of the tax reform bills. Of course, we did a story in Daily Trust that deal was sealed during a meeting between Tinubu and the governors when they paid him a courtesy call in, a New Year visit in Lagos. Are you in tune with the decision of the northern governors? All the governors inclusive, to agree to that?
I think I will first have to congratulate the president for being considerate, and that's how I look at the whole thing. It's a win-win situation. Okay. At first, he wanted to push down the bill down the throat of Nigerians. And some of his undertakers were saying nothing will happen, let's go to the National Assembly and to pass through. But on the second hand side, he realizes that those that were opposing, it's not that all Nigerians, we are all clamoring for the bill, the tax laws are archaic. We all agree. we needed a new tax reform and what
approach
have you.
that.
Yes, it was the approach and the fear that people have. But now that after deepening the conversation, it now emerges that yes, these governors have a reason, because they are the subnationals and they have a right. In fact, they are the National Executive Council. Even from the National Executive Council, they said, no, stop this bill, let's deepen the conversation, let's discuss it
before
the
Economic Council,
the Economic Council, the Vice President. Now, some of the undertakers of the president say, forget, nothing will happen, let's take it to the National Assembly. But like I said, I will congratulate him for deeming it fit to now sit with the governors, hear from them what are their fears, and then we now have a win-win situation. But that is just the first stage of it. The governors and the presidency are now in tune. They're in one sync. Now the next stage is the National Assembly. That is where the details are going to be discussed. And I want to see the National Assembly would sit up, just like the governors did, to really show the president, no, that was not the best way to go about it. This is the best way to go about it. And perhaps they too will now make sure that whoever won in this whole thing, whoever will win in this whole thing is the Nigerians that will win, not their personal interest. I wait to see what will come up at the National Assembly, which I believe very soon they will start deliberating on it now that the presidency and the governors are aligning, yes, on the same page.
But many Nigerians don't really, I'm sorry, don't really have hope in the National Assembly, especially in the Senate, because they feel like it's rubber stamp. Of course, we had at the time, and we still have them, those who show some resistance, like the man from your state, Senator Ningi, so have Indume from Borno. They were vocal, and but people say they were simply vocal because they are governors, but also vocal. In Bauchi, we don't know where Governor Mohammed is now.
No, I mean, like on the issue of the presidency and Governor Mohammed, I wonder what people think. This governor is from the PDP. And the president is from the APC.
So you can't
Do you want him
less.
to clap for the president for doing that? No. Look, what is happening in Nigeria, and it's a very, 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 very bad way we are taking. There are some people who are hell-bent on stifling or killing opposition. Democracy without opposition is useless. You need opposition to put you on check. For God's sake, you don't just bring in something hook, line, and sinker and expect us to swallow. No way. The governor of Bauchi, not that he was against the president, they were against some portions of the tax reform. And they have been consistent in saying that, Mr. President, sit down, look at these things. That was why I congratulated the president first, because at least he did not listen to those who were telling him that, no, Mr. ABC is your enemy, for him to have raised an issue against that. In fact, they had even tried to bring him in collusion with his vice president, being the chairman of the National Executive Council, Economic Council, for saying that this bill should stand down for a moment before we need more conversations before. And to me, it's a win-win situation for both. For the governors, and it wasn't only people who were saying northern governors were against, southern governors were equally against. Beside the Lagos governor and from some few other governors who were hailing the bill, virtually all governors have fears. If it is not on the VAT issue, your fear perhaps is on the taxation, like the CIT, which Nigeria was is one of the countries that have high interest, on company interest tax. That was why our companies are leaving Nigeria and going to Ghana and other places.
Because it's friendly environment.
Thank you. So those are the things that people are saying, wait, Mr. President, look at those things. Let's look at those things and then we move forward. And thank God they have done their own bit. Now, like I said, is on the onus on the National Assembly. We want to see how they go about it. One, who is the ombudsman? Who oversees these things? We want them to discuss this. How is it going to be? They now said, the governors and the presidency said, okay, now 50% on equity, 30% on derivation, and the remaining 20% on population. This derivation, we want to know, Is it on production or is it on consumption? Those are the nitty-gritties that the National Assembly need to come up with, and we are looking forward to see. You mentioned some senators who are loud. There are lots of them who are loud who have been saying, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt now to see how far they can perform in that. The winner will be Nigerians.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, viewers, it's now time for you to also call and contribute to the two topics we have here, the tragedy in Dikko and then the tax reform bills, the alliance between the governors and Mr. President. Use the telephone line displayed on your screen. Go straight to the point. Don't use foul language. What we want is actually how to resolve some of these problems. Of course, in the studio here, we have Abubakar Tafawa-Balewa. He's member, BOT, National Youth Council of Nigeria, former special advisor to two former governors of Bauchi State. Once again, thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you.
Yes, before we get the first call, the Afenifere, surprisingly, they said they should tread softly, that tinubu and the governors should tread softly, because it is this same tax issue that ignited trouble in Kenya. From Afenifere of all places. But before you answer this, we have our first caller on the program. Hello and welcome to the program.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Safir Suleiman. I'm right.
Well, this is Hamza Idris, of course. Yes, Shafiq Suleiman is on the other side.
Okay.
Yes, taking care of us from the control room. Yes, I am Hamza Idris. Yes, go ahead. Welcome to the program.
Good evening to you. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much. And who is on the line?
Good evening to the guest in the studio.
Abubakar Tafawa-Balewa. Yes.
Good evening.
Abubakar Tafawa-Balewa.
Yes.
The name actually sounded like the former president of the country.
He was named after him, of course, his grandchild.
Yes, that is wonderful. It's a very unique name.
Yes, thank you.
And he's doing a very wonderful job. Yes, this is S.O. Dudu calling from Cross River State.
Oh, Cross River. Oh, welcome.
Yes, S.O. Dudu calling from Cross River State.
Okay, S.O. Dudu. Okay, go ahead. What is your take on which of the topics do you want to discuss?
Let me first of all commiserate with the victims of the tanker explosion.
Okay.
It's quite unfortunate. People should be very careful. People should be very, very careful. The second issue I would like to comment is the issue of the tax reform bill.
Yes.
Yes, I commend the president and the governors. But be that as it may, now our journey is to the National Assembly. And I wish to urge the National Assembly members, both in the red and the green chamber, to please, as a matter of urgency, as a matter of necessity, do the needful. We are putting them to test on how they are going to go about this bill. The bill is a very welcome bill. We commend them. Any area they think is anti-development, is anti-economic growth, they should point it out and begin to legislate on it.
All right.
And the engagement, the town hall or the public hearing they are going to conduct on this bill, it should be a robust public hearing, whereby even the Okada man on the streets from the office of the citizen in Nigeria should be able to have an input.
Right.
It will be very, very important.
Thank you.
An Okada man should be able to have at least input to this bill.
All right.
I think by doing this, we are going to come out with a very wonderful bill. And lastly, please, they should stress more on the tax administration. The tax administration in Nigeria is very poor.
Okay.
Look at in those days when we were told that our forefather, when they heard about tax collector is coming, they will be afraid.
They will be jittery.
But
yes.
right now, the system has changed. We want a very formidable tough administration that will actually contribute in all ramifications to our GDP, whereby we will now be sure of high revenue to GDP.
All right.
And not debt to GDP.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your take on these two topics. And we hope to have you some other time. Yes, Billy, you heard him.
Yeah.
He validated what you are saying.
Yes.
Of course, that it is a win-win.
Yeah.
But the question I ask, Afeni Ferry,
Yeah.
some are even saying 2027 has started, and that is why the governors.
Yeah, you are right. It's not far from the truth. But you see, that is why when the conversation started, I was again saying Mr. ABC is against the bill. What do you expect? You brought an issue like you said, the governor of my state, Governor Bala Mohammed.
Some say because he wants to be president. That's why he's very vocal.
I mean, and so you can, I can, because I want to be president. That wouldn't stop you from opposing. Thank you, opposing what you feel is not right.
All right.
And for God's sake, mind you, the argument, I have heard all the governors. Their argument is not against the bill. We have an archaic tax laws. And for God's sake, these tax laws should take into account, like this last caller who says, these tax laws should take into account the present condition of Nigerians. You can see the governors had to stop the VAT increase. It is realistic, for God's sake.
Some are even advocating that it should be reviewed downwards.
Thank you. I mean,
All
the
right.
real situation now, we have to look at the real situation and then do
All right,
for Nigeria.
we have another caller on the line. Hello, welcome to the program.
Good evening, Hamza Idris.
This must be Shamaki from Nasarawa.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, Shamaki, welcome.
Abubakar Tafawa-Balewa, good evening once again.
Good evening, thank you.
Yeah, you see, on the issue of this tanker explosion,
Yes.
I thought people would learn a lesson to what happened in Jigawa State. Similar issue happened. People that died, it was a result of tapping fuel through the channel that was moving on the ground. That resulted, so many of them died. So I think the same issue happened in Niger yesterday, because I'm even seeing it on television now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So people shouldn't be eager of going to such one incident happen like that, because fuel is not ordinary thing that people will joke with. So
unfortunately, see people on top.
Our people don't even learn a lesson. Once if something happen like that, people shouldn't eager, because I want to use opportunity to make money. It's very, very unfortunate. Look at the number of people that died. So I believe this thing should serve as a lesson, so that it will be a deterrent to others, so that next such occurrences, people will not even go closer. And secondly, the government should also bring out a modality on how they can be able to curtail all these things, issue of tanker exploding and the rest. So may God help us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Shamaki. Yes, still talking about conscientizing the populace on the tanker incident. Of course, I want us to continue dwelling on the tax reform. You can see ASU, like Afeni Ferry, ASU said governors are not explicit. You know, in the statement, what they said is that there shouldn't be terminal debt for Tetfond, Naseni, and NITA. Because in the initial bill, they said by 2030, like Tetfond will cease to exist. Even though government insists that they are not saying Tetfond will cease to exist. What they are saying is that it will be funded through budgetary allocation. And ASU is like we are going back to square one.
Yeah. I mean that's bunkum. I really don't understand. There has never been, in recent times, there haven't been any government agency which have impacted positively to development in Nigeria like Tetfond. Go to our public schools. I see the hands of those operators of the private schools trying to see that TED fund is no more there.
As it's been alleged that our political leaders,
yes.
they want to...
No. They are the proprietors of private schools who want to see, because they are not involved in TED fund. TED fund is only on public schools. And public schools are coming up of age and of status and infrastructure, so they don't want it. They want only the private schools to thrive so that the common man's children will not go to school. Scrapping, I wonder, if you can create regional ministries or regional agencies, what is the business?
Like the Niger Delta,
Northeast, what are you trying to do? That critical infrastructures like, infrastructure in public schools, NIDA, where you now... Technology, which Nigeria, thank you. We need to, Naseni. No, they should find other ways to...
So who will serve as the real demand in between? Are you now saying the National Assembly should be implicit? I mean, they should clearly speak about the survival of this?
Definitely.
You answer,
that is the second stage.
Okay, we have another caller on the line.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hello. We are with you.
Hello, my name is Mohammed Lawal.
Okay, Mohammed, welcome to the program.
Yes.
You are calling from where?
From Rugachukun in Kaduna State.
Okay, Mohammed, welcome.
Rugachukun, Kaduna State.
Yes, I got it, yes. Go ahead.
Yes. I want to take on this tanker issue.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to let me commiserate with them. May Allah forgive them and forgive the deaths.
Amen. Amen. Yes. So what is your advice now? What should be done?
My advice is actually federal government should come into this issue.
Okay.
For a long time, since we have started using tankers in transporting petrol, we have been having so many issues in Akure, in Lagos, in Kaduna. Government should revive the use of rail in transporting petroleum.
Okay.
Our people are too greedy. Once something like this comes up, they will rush because of the situation we found ourselves. People don't become patient and take what they have and agree with what God has, the destiny. So once they see issue like this, accidents, they rush to steal something like this, they rush to pack the oil. This has been happening several times. And it's because we abuse our rails. Our roads are bad. From Kaduna to Abuja, sincerely speaking, the roads are bad. What are you going there to look if you see a tanker down with petroleum station? What do you want to see? That you will go there, if not because you want to carry something. So federal government should revive our rail lines and start transporting petrol through railways and forget about using tankers.
All right.
It's affecting the issue seriously.
Thank you very much.
That on this. And on this tax,
yes,
like other people said, people should, our House of the Red Chamber and the Green Chamber should do justice. They should do justice to this issue. And they should not neglect anybody. Like somebody said, even a cadre man should be contacted if they have come to a public hearing. Let them hear people's view before they take decision on this issue. People are crying, thinking they will be submerged. So people, our representatives should take it so serious and discuss this issue with their people before they arrive at conclusion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for your take on these two topics. Yes, over to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he also concurred with what you are saying, that the National Assembly, they have a key role.
They do.
And they should allow Nigerians to also ventilate their own opinion on this, and they should now aggregate everything.
It is important because, like I said, the details, the discussions on the details will be done on the floor of the National Assembly. They shouldn't just waive it. This is a matter of life and death for Nigeria. And like I said, let it be a win for Nigeria, not for themselves.
Not even for the governors,
not even for the governors
president.
or for the president.
It should be
a win for Nigeria. Yeah. And that is, you can see what happened in Kenya. They nearly took down the government because of taxes that was increased on the people of Kenya. I mean,
up to now, they are yet to get it right.
That is true. So they should be very careful and make sure that it is a win for all Nigeria.
Ordinarily, Billy, people should be ready to pay taxes. And one of our callers said, in those days, when the tax collector comes to your village, those that don't have the money to pay,
Yeah.
you see them as if they lost a loved one.
That's true.
And why were they paying the taxes before?
I mean,
why
you
are
are
people
saying,
reluctant
because
to pay?
then the taxes, you see what is done with the taxes. You see the schools, you see the hospitals, you see the road. Nowadays, if you pay the tax, who does it go to? Until now, that in this tax bill, it tries to capture virtually the multiple taxes that we don't need.
They want to harmonize
To harmonize it, fine. But another issue of which I think we hope to do is that who's going to collect this tax? The National Assembly should thoroughly discuss who's going to do that.
What is the name, the new name they are giving it? National...
They call it MBS, or what do they call it? Whatever it is. Whatever it is.
Meaning that, you know, like customs, newer...
They are the ones that... They are
even
the ones...
road safety,
Thank you.
and all that.
But mind you, you and I know that most of the taxes in Nigeria have other ways to go. Now you go and pay not only just common tax, fine, it goes to an individual's pocket.
Instead of the common treasury.
That is it, that is it. And those things need to be done. People don't see where their taxes are put into. Everybody is willing.
They are averse.
Of course. Gone are the days when you see where your tax goes into. But these days, we are all dependent on the general allocation that every month the government sits down and share. Until recently, when, yes, income have increased for the state government, you know, which they are quite about it. But we want to see, yes,
in
tangible form.
Okay, we'll take our last caller. Hello, welcome to the program. Hello? Hello? Yes, hello, who's on the line? Yes, I think his attention is somewhere. Yes, he called, maybe waiting or listening to something else. Now, of course, in our report, we had the ACF, Adult Consultative Forum. There is also another group, they call themselves Igbo Elders Forum. They endorsed the changes done by the governors. But of course, they also said they are going to come up with their own independent opinion. And also we spoke with some professors in the university and then other stakeholders in stock exchange and all that. They all said it's like a great leap where they arrive. So now, how do we now distinguish between political compensation and actually working towards having a unified tax system that will be beneficial to the people?
Like I said in the beginning, it's a win-win that the presidency and the governors were able to harmonize their interest and then come up with the sharing formula, some of the nitty-gritties, what they haven't really completely, like the ASU said, they are not categorical on, particularly they are interested in the TED Fund because TED Fund had done a lot to public schools. You see, now that it has been with the National Assembly, but they suspended it waiting for this harmonization between the governors and the presidency and what have you. They will now open up they said the so-called town hall and then the committee, whatever. In these sittings, they will now discuss on the nitty-gritty. Some are even calling for an Okada man to be invited, at least to hear his view.
Meaning that
why not?
Nobody should be...
Thank you. I can understand, yes. Why not?
Okay.
All segments of the society must be involved in this because it's a holistic thing. And we don't expect in the next 2, 3, 4 years, we still come back to the tax reform again. We should do it once and for all. And it is high time we do it.
All right. Thank you very much, Abubakar Tafawa-Balewa, politician and public affairs.
Thank you.
Analyst, two-time advisor to two former governors of Bauchi, and of course, member of BOT, National Youth Council of Nigeria, for coming to the program.
Thank you.
I will thank you for your informed perspective, hoping to see you some other time.
Thank you.
And viewers, that's a wrap on today's package of Sunday Politics. Thank you for being with us. Join us tomorrow for Daily Politics on Trust TV. From here, bye-bye, I'm Hamza Idris.